Is Todd Bowley? Is Todd Bowley all right? Is Todd Bowley fit to own a club? Man predicted 3-0 to Chelsea, 3-0. These men got slapped 2-0, comprehensive, comfortable win. The big hitters were out. Man like Benzema, man like, what's his name, Asensio. It's mad. Let's talk about it. Listen, welcome to The View. This is another episode. This is another channel, people. By now, you know this is my podcast. I'm going to be bringing you essentially a bit of the feedback and a bit of the fallout from yesterday's games. And I'm going to bring you the latest news and gossip. It is 8 a.m. early on a Thursday, 13th of April. Let's get it cracking, man. 2-0. And I predicted nothing else other than this. What did you lot want to see? What did you lot want to happen? Did you lot want to see Chelsea do a thing? Did you lot want to see what? Man like Havertz score a goal, 2 goals. Man like Sterling all of a sudden start to perform for Chelsea. Did man want, who's advising Todd Bowley? Who is recommending? These men are sitting in offices playing with multi-millions. And this brother here is just making mistake after mistake after mistake. Everyone that he's brought in to revive Chelsea and fix Chelsea, it's look like it's drowning Chelsea even more. Like the decision to bring in Frank Lampard, and yes, this is a Real Madrid jersey, by the way. Boy. Anyways, the decision to bring in Frank Lampard has got to be one of the worst decisions I've seen in my life. In football, in English football, in Chelsea history. Because this man here, bro, 16 games, 13 defeats. 0 goals scored. What? You shouldn't even be managing a championship side at this point. No goals in 4 games as Lampard seeks special responses. And he's waffling. After the game, he's talking about, Blues can produce a special night in a second leg. Really? Real Madrid will come to Stamford Bridge and they'll play like you've never seen anyone play in Stamford Bridge. They will hold out to the 67th minute and then they'll score 2 goals. And potentially maybe they will even score a 3rd goal just as the game is finishing. That's how real it is. That's how crazy it is. Listen, let me get into some of the stats because even the stats itself is kind of like, what? Where did they see that this win could come from? Where did they see that this Chelsea inspirational revival, this motivational turnaround was going to come? I don't understand it. Todd Bowley is proper out of his depth, and now it's clear for everyone to see that he is out of his depth. He really is out of his depth. AC Milan won, bro. I had this on as well. This one got me by surprise. I'm not gonna lie. Napoli 0. I thought Napoli is one of the teams that, for me, is gonna make it to the Champions League final. I thought that they will have enough in the tank to be able to kind of, just nullify Milan at the San Siro. But it looks like the occasion got the better out of them. It looks like they somehow have had this little dip and they don't really know how to get out of it, or they do but they won't. And a draw here, a quick defeat there in the league as well. It's starting to kind of give some questions, or starting to raise some questions about Napoli and how far and what kind of mentality levels are we looking at in regards to their players. Okay, so let's get into the news. Let's get into some of the gossip. This morning on a Thursday. So a farce, first and foremost. Zilikas withdraws from Manchester United bid. Now this is becoming more and more ridiculous every single day, because when is this club going to get purchased? Like, it's just long, bro. Like, what? Buy the club. You got these Ratcliffe Dons and you got these oil dons, and then you got this next brother. But this brother here, he looked like the most bogey one. He looked like the most fraudulent one. Finnish entrepreneur Thomas Zilikas has withdrawn his offer to buy Manchester United, saying that the decision of the current owners, Glazers, to go a 3rd round of bidding is a farce. And to be honest with you, it's true. Like, those Glazers, they're just money lusting, greedy leeches. Like, you have like just leeches, bro. Like, the money. Bro, sell the club, man. What are you doing? How much money do you need? How much money do you want? It's not even my club. Like, I was saying this about the Cronkies few years ago, like to the Spotify, like bro, just sell the club. If you're not taking care of, like, sell it. But anyways, Jim Ratcliffe, Sheikh Jassim, and myself were all ready to negotiate and the deal to buy United. Instead, the Glazers chose to start a new round. I will not participate in a fast set up to maximise the profit of the sellers at the expense of Manchester United. Zilikas has previously been involved with Helsinki Ice Hockey Champions in his homeland and is the founder chairman of new social media Nova M Group. And he's pulled out. So you've lost one man who's willing to change the fortune of the club. Let's see if Ratcliffe does the same, and let's see if the oil dons do the same as well. Let me go into other news. Let me just have a look. So let's go straight into it, guys. This is some interesting news because this kind of took me by surprise. Burnley boss Vincent Kompany is Tottenham's #1 target to replace Antonio Conte. What? What? Vincent Kompany is Tottenham's #1 target. Listen. Well done, Vinny. Well done, Vincent. You did your thing. You're doing your thing at Burnley. I don't watch Burnley. I don't watch the Championship. But I'm sure you've turned it around, and whatever you're doing, it's being recognised in the world of football. I've seen your name. I've seen his name, here and there throughout the weeks now. Vincent Kompany this, Vincent Kompany that, Vincent Kompany reaction to what Pep said, and Vincent Kompany's reaction to what the league, like, what? He must have turned Burnley around so much that he's probably got them playing, football on the ground, no more long ball, high ball business, and he's been successful with it. Who would know? Who knew? As Lee Gunner would say, who knew? Manchester City lead Real Madrid in the race to sign Borussia Dortmund's Jude Bellingham after Liverpool have dropped out of contention. And I said it yesterday, he's talking about Jude. He's talking about, let's not talk about the money. It's not about the money. It's about playing for a club with honour and with dignity and with history. Bro, come on, man. If City come in, money talks. Money is the king. Money is the boss at the end of the day. It's as simple as that. He's either going to go to one of those two unique clubs. It's either going to be City because of their pulling power, or Real Madrid because of their pulling power and their class and their sheer reputation, bro. It is what it is. Barcelona will step up their interest in Ilkay Gundogan after being impressed with the 32-year-old's German performances for Man City this season. And listen, I'm impressed as well. Listen, Gundogan, if anything, he's even more important than KDB in that midfield, because I tell you what, from an offensive final third standpoint, KDB is your guy, but from a ninja room, deep lying in there, in the crux of it, spreading passes like you've never seen, beautifully connecting with his players, beautiful connected with the defense, in tandem and transition with the midfield. He is your guy. He is the man. And Ilkay Gundogan at 32, same age as me, 32 years of age, he's still a boss, and he's literally playing his probably best football or in a very long time that we've seen, so he's not declining, he's just going up. He's another Modric. Them men are becoming even more polished as they get older. We're still being linked to Ryan Gravenberch, so is Liverpool, so is Manchester United. This 20-year-old midfielder, it looks like Bayern Munich are saying, look, come and get him. He's fairly decent, more or less a Jude replacement, B-Tech version. It is what it is. That's what I've heard. I haven't seen him play, but this is what I heard. This is what some of my friends have been telling me. He's a Jude Bellingham B-Tech version. Arsenal are targeting Crystal Palace, France under-21, Michael Olise. Now this is interesting because they value him at 40 million. He's a 21-year-old. Olise is decent. He's a good player. Used to the Premier League. Plays in the Prem. Plays for a good club, Palace, and he's one of the main guys. He is, together with a few others, Zaha, of course, and Cole. He is one of the main guys, and if we're being linked to him, I can't see him starting for Arsenal in any way, shape, or form. But it will be a good sort of squad addition. But then if we get rid of people like, I don't know, Smith Rowe and that, what's the point of bringing on Elise? What's the point of thinking about getting rid of Tierney and Smith Rowe? These men stay, bro. I'll be happy and I'll welcome Elise to that Arsenal setup. Let's have a look here. What of interest? Liverpool have been interested in João Paulinho. They've been sending scouts to Fulham. They've been trying to sort of see what are the possibilities of potentially getting him in the summer. Obviously Jude Bellingham is no longer a target, so they're looking for other alternatives. They're looking for other players to be able to kind of, coming into that midfield and really dictate and really kind of, put a presence through that will more or less kind of emulate Jude Bellingham. But you're just not going to get a Jude Bellingham. It's as simple as that. Liverpool's hurting, they're actually hurting. I think Jude Bellingham's probably one of they want Jude Bellingham as much as they wanted someone like Suarez, or, who else has Liverpool really wanting to buy, and they've kind of just got it over the line, or maybe they didn't. Suarez is the one that kind of comes to mind, but I'm sure there's a few others. There's one I'm thinking about, just the name is escaping my mind at the moment. This is another little interesting story. Former England defender Chris Smalling, 33. Smalling's 33 now. Will sign a new 2-year deal at Roma this week, despite interest from Inter Milan, Juventus, and a number of Premier League clubs. So it looks like he's fully Roman. He's enjoying his Romanian ties and his time at Roma. He's fully embraced the pasta, the macaroni and cheese, and all of that jazz. And he doesn't even want to come back to England. And why should he? Listen, big him up. I think he did the best thing that he could do, Chris Smalling. Leave Man United, leave England as a whole. Go and earn your trade in another country, in another capacity, in another club. We're seeing this become more and more of a thing nowadays with English footballers, going away to teams abroad and actually making something of their career, actually to an extent where they're reviving their career. And I think that's the way forward. I think English teams are becoming saturated. I think the Premier League's in a bad place from a money perspective. Too much inflation in English football. Players are not being fairly judged. Players are not being fairly treated in comparison to some players, in conjunction to the values that they coming in and out for. There's a lot going on in English football, the situation with the officiating and so forth. Like, the football in itself and the atmospheres is what keeps the Premier League what it is, and the competitive edge to it. But there's lots of things that now you say to yourself, if I don't think solely about the money and securing that big contract and securing that future, and if I'm actually thinking about other things, not being criticised and not being lambasted by the media, Maguire, for example, and stuff like that, and I just want to earn a good living, I want to play football and enjoy football, bruv, you're probably thinking, do you know what, let me go to another league, let me go somewhere like Italy, let me go somewhere like Spain. I'll just chill off in Villarreal and I'll earn my P's and I'll play and win a trophy here and there, or make it to a big game here and there. But it is what it is, Arsenal will demand 35 million for 21-year-old English striker Flo Balogun, and 35 is too low, man. It should be minimum 40, rising all the way up to 60 million. I don't think we should sell him any less than 60 million. If we are going to sell him for less than 60 million, then we should be capping that at 40 million, because when you think about it, like, Odegaard was 30 something million. So do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, this is a striker who's going to be in demand. Strikers are not really out here like that. In 3-4 years, make no mistake, he's going to be 24, 20. Like, he will be a bad boy striker. Balogun, you can see it in him, in his physique, and he's like, what? We're going to sell him for 35 M's? Nah, man. Selling him for more. This is one of the things I want us to really fix this season, bro. Start selling players for the money that they're actually not worth and more. Do you know what I mean? Because that they're just like, they're stuck. Like Balogun, in 5 years' time, we could be looking at 100 million plus type of player, bro. Really? Like, we're gonna sell him for 35 M's? 35 M's? Nah, man. But yeah, that was it in terms of gossip and in terms of transfers and stuff like that. Let's go into the Twitter sphere, guys. Let me keep you updated with what's happening on Twitter as well. Obviously, a lot on Chelsea. Chelsea's in a bad spot at the moment, in a really bad spot. They're in a bad spot in the league. They're in a bad spot in the Champions League. Todd Bowley is completely out of his depth. I think he's fully out of his depth. Whether he was joking or not when they asked him, are Chelsea going to win 3-0? And he said, yeah, we're going to win 3-0. Maybe he was joking, maybe he wasn't. But I honestly do think that he's proper out of his depth. And then when you look at that squad, bruv, it's like, these man, bro, Mudryk, did Mudryk even come on? I don't think he did. Just noticed Mudryk has played under more managers 3 than he has shots on target 2 since joining Chelsea for 100 million. Frank Lampard wants to change the narrative around Chelsea facing Real Madrid for the second leg. It will be different next week. How? What makes you say that? Because we're playing in front of our teammates. That's just more in front of our crowd. That's just more pressure. That's just more pressure, man. Name a Chelsea player that has 40 work like Ancelotti, and your retired players. Barcelona can join too if they like, and it's true. Ancelotti was having more touches in the game than some players were. It was peak, man. Top goalkeepers win matches and pull off incredible saves. Kepa is not for Chelsea. We need a new goalkeeper. Kepa's under the spotlight as well. Kepa's being criticised for his performance as well. Real Madrid have won 4 in another Champions League semi-final after defeating Chelsea 2-0. And that's 100%. It's all clear now. I think for every Chelsea fan, when I say John Felix's time at Chelsea comes to an end, certified failure, I think it's true. Listen, he's a skillful player, he's a young player, but it's not really working out. The fact that they actually are considering keeping him permanently is kind of like, what? He just misses chances. He's just not in the right setup to be able to maximise his skill set. He's trying to do too much on his own. Chelsea have only won 4 of the last 19 games in 2023. That's incredible. That is an incredible stat, bro. That is a damning stat. That is peak, bro. What? Chelsea fans should add please to every sentence when talking to other fans. Defeat, draw, defeat, draw, defeat, draw. It's mad still. People are saying that Reece James played as bad as Trent Alexander-Arnold has been playing all season. And there is no end in sight of this misery for Chelsea. Luka Modric v Chelsea in numbers: 95% successful passes, 100% successful long passes, 1 opportunity created, 3 successful dribbles, 11 ball recoveries, 4 duels, 1 out of 7, 10 assists in the final third, 1 single ball lost. The best midfielder in the world. And there was incredible numbers for a young ball as well, who goes by the name of Eduardo Camavinga. Eduardo Cama Blood Clot Vinga, my brother, I love this kid. He's a hell of a footballer. Yesterday he was playing as a fullback, even as a midfielder, and he had a shining game. He shone. He was everywhere. He was pivotal to the attacking sort of threat that they had. 17 minutes played, 71 touches, 1 big chance created, 51 accurate passes, 90%, 100% accurate long balls, 4 out of 7 duels won, 3 tackles, a constant outlet for the attacks, and Real Madrid's very own star boy. He was hard. He did his thing, man. The hype on Camavinga is not enough for Real Madrid fans. He's very, 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 very good. I enjoyed him today. Great performance. This is now, fellow fans acknowledging his greatness, acknowledging for such a young player, he's acknowledging his performance. Fresh off the pan as well, some additional gossip. Jurgen Klopp will attempt to resurrect his interest in Kompany, who has never really settled in Madrid. He's not an automatic choice as he sits behind Eduardo Camavinga in the Real Madrid pecking order. And this was interesting because I didn't know that Camavinga had actually taken over. Camavinga looks like he's slyly just kind of taken over Kompany, and I think Kompany's a hell of a defensive midfielder. Whether they will let him go or not, it's a different story. I don't think Real Madrid will actually let him go, but let's see, man. And it looks like Jurgen Klopp will be right in there to take Kompany out of my man's hands. Let's have a look. What else we got? So Modric again. Just quickly touching on Modric. Very sad scenes. He's really low on confidence. He's really down in the dumps. And I think the more we talk about him being in the dumps, the more he's going to continue to be in the dumps. I still believe he would have played completely different if he came to our club. Arsenal is just that club where, you're going to play different. You can't be that bad. I was surprised that he didn't get a single minute. A lot of people on Twitter are saying that the game was kind of built for him. This game was designed for him, and I don't understand how. I don't understand why. Maybe from a counter sort of press or counter offensive aspect, I get that. Whenever Chelsea were ready to counter attack, it looks like they were successful at it, and it looks like they kind of they had a little structure to their counter attack. João Felix was getting in on positions, good positions. just being wasteful on the shooting. But yeah, man, very sad scenes for Mudryk. And it's fair to say that Mudryk is probably and potentially the worst signing of the window as well. So it remains to be seen, whether he can turn it around next season, and it remains to be seen whether we're going to see some sort of uphill sort of progress on that front. But look, guys, I'm going to leave it here. I've been going for approximately 20 minutes. I'll be back today with some more videos and some more content for you guys. Please drop a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.